Crypto Fear and Greed Index is still currently sitting at 20 after setting a yearly low on November 21st, 2025, even though the crypto market has basically been getting its ass kicked. And the CMC Altcoin Index, which measures altcoin seasons, remember those? Is still currently sitting at 25 out of 100. The MMRI is up just slightly, currently sitting at 253, still in the high-risk range. Up just slightly from last week. And taking a look at the top 100 on the hourly, red. On the daily, red. On the weekly, got a little bit of green in there, with Quant up 25.6%, Merle up 31.8%, Maker up 17.4%, Cass up 17.1%. Going over to the monthly, Rain is still dominant at plus 135. Telcoin up 62.9%. Merle up 42.8%. Quant up 25.5%. But looking at the top 1,000 on the monthly scale, it has been an absolute bloodbath. And for the past 2 months, the crypto market be like...
Them's fighting words.
Yeah, them's fighting words.
I dare you to step over this line.
Okay, I'm a steppin'.
I dare you to step over this one. This one. This one. That one. That one. This one.
And as always, this is not financial advice and is nothing short of the rantings and ravings of a man who once on acid realized that all matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration, that we are all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There is no such thing as death, life is a dream, and we're the imagination of ourselves. Here's Tom with the weather. We can see that the Dow is down, the NASDAQ is down, the Russell 2000 is down, the SPX is down, the dollar is down, gold is up just slightly, silver has absolutely been on a nice run this morning, breaking out up above the upper trend line and still resting in this particular area. Platinum is down, copper is down, oil catching a slight bid, Bitcoin is down, BNB is down, XRP is down, XLM is down, ALGO is down, HBAR is down, SOL is down, ADA is down, Quant is down, XDC is down, TEL is down, ZBCN is down, XPR is down, IOST catching a slight bid, Anchor is down, and MSTR is absolutely getting slaughtered and has been working on filling these gaps here and here that I talked about in one of my recent videos. The only bad thing about MSTR is the rest of the gaps are down here, with this one resting at about $41.59 on center. And this chart is also very telling. This is the gold-silver ratio chart. This is the weekly, going all the way back to this point right here on March 2nd, 2020, where it set the first point of the upper range for the upper trend line, coming down to the first point for the lower trend line here at February 1st, 2021, setting the second point for the upper trend line right here in April of 2025. And uh-oh. Looks like silver's going to be gaining on gold. And do me a favor and hit the like button if you could before we get started. I would really appreciate it. Now jumping over to take a look at ALGO. This is on the monthly chart and one that I have not covered on the channel for quite some time. You're going to see a pattern here with ALGO that we're starting to see throughout quite a few different cryptocurrencies within the crypto market, which is showing this very nice descending wedge pattern on the monthly chart. At some point, the cryptos exhibiting this pattern could see an incredible breakout to the upside as price starts to compress within the apex of these triangle patterns. Going back to this point right here, during the week of March 2020, we saw ALGO make a 5-wave move to the upside, which ended during the week of November 1st, 2021. Since that time, we have seen Algorand in a very long corrective pattern, currently showing a WXY to the downside, which consists of a 3-wave move down, a 3-wave move up, and a 3-wave move to the downside. Price is currently trading below the equilibrium zone and is looking like it's going to trade down to this red area right here. If this bullish fair value gap on the monthly chart right here does not hold the price, we can definitely expect that it's going to come down here, perhaps even to the lower trend line. As you can see with my equilibrium charting strategy, price generally tends to trade up into the red areas. It then traded down to the red areas. Price traded up and was rejected in the equilibrium zone. Price is now trading to the downside. This would be the likely target, but we definitely want to watch to see if this bullish fair value gap is going to hold first. But we can also see in the dashed lines right here that this three-wave move is trading within that smaller wedge pattern, essentially a wedge within a wedge. But if price does break down into this red area here, taking out the previous low of this wave W termination set during the week of August 1st, 2023, it will in fact be taking out the all-time low, which we can see was set right here on September 11th, 2023, 2 years ago at 8 cent 761, which is currently 48.84% above the current price. The all-time high was set right here on June 20th, 2019, 6 years ago, at $3.28, which current price is trading 96% below that all-time high. So we definitely want to keep a close eye on where this trades. If it breaks through this bullish fair value gap, pushes down into this red, takes out this all-time low right here at the W wave termination, it could be the buying opportunity of a lifetime, because anyone who buys below that point is getting it cheaper than anyone who has ever bought ALGO since it has been publicly trading, going all the way back starting in the week of June 1st, 2019. ALGO is currently my second largest position, second only to XRP, and if it does drop down below these levels in this range, you can bet your bottom dollar that I am going to start accumulating, adding to that position. So this will definitely be one to watch, especially with this longer term pattern, because once we get the bottom out here, just imagine what price would do once it broke out above this upper trend line. And if you would like to support my channel here on YouTube and give me the fuel that I need to continue to make these YouTube videos, the easiest way to do that is by joining my Patreon. There are 3 different paid membership levels, but you can also join for free if that better suits you. And if you've been thinking about trading spot, or perhaps just looking for a place to swap your cryptos for 0 fees, that's right, 0 fees. Use my link and sign up for Bitunix. You'll be glad that you did. And taking a look at the XRP chart, this is the weekly chart. Price has been trading within this expanding, broadening wedge for quite some time, going all the way back to the week of January 13th, 2025. The wave structure is very interesting, with the primary wave trading up to a wave 3 termination here, and we are looking for the wave 4 termination, assuming that it's not already in, moving up into the wave 5, with this subwave being an A, B, C running flat, with the C wave termination falling short of breaking through the A wave termination here, being a 3-wave move to the downside, a 3-wave move up, and a 5-wave move to the downside for the wave C. Price is still showing a bullish hidden divergence right here, coming off of this point of the A wave termination over to this area right here. We can see it right here on the indicator. Price is also still currently holding within this bullish fair value gap on the monthly chart very nicely. As I have talked about many, many times, even though price has wicked through this, it is held on the monthly chart. But as I've been talking about this being very similar to this area right here, we are now forming a third candle, which differentiates itself quite a bit from the way this is unfolding compared to these 2 points. So we definitely want to keep an eye on this, because if price pushes through this, breaking down below this lower trend line, which by all intents and purposes, making this end up to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it could push the prices much lower, down into this particular set of Fibonacci levels, perhaps even down to this lower trend line, which would be absolutely devastating for price. So we need to keep a close eye on this, and then keep in mind that this bullish hidden divergence would basically be invalidated right around the $1.60 level. But as it sits, and as incredibly bearish as the markets seem to be right now, there are still a lot of things working in favor of the XRP price at a bare minimum of holding this area. We've got the potential wave 5. We've got the potential wave C termination. We've got the bullish hidden divergence on the weekly chart. we can see down here in the indicator that at some point the blue line is going to cross over this yellow line. It could be weeks, it could be a month or so, but at some point we are going to get that crossover. And generally when we do get those crossovers, we get moves like this. So this will definitely be something to watch, but we also need to be very wary because if this area doesn't hold and price pushes down below this, it could get very ugly. But just like with Algorand, even if price does continue to push down and things do get very ugly, at the exact same time, it would be presenting a very good buying opportunity. So there's always two sides to every coin. And just like with Algorand, you want to buy when there's blood in the streets. You want to buy when you're scrolling through X and everybody is talking shit about XRP. You can't even find a single post on there saying anything good about it. And even the people like me who cover XRP on a regular basis, and which is also my largest position, when even we aren't talking about it anymore because we have been beaten in the dirt so hard, that's when you want to buy. So keep your eyes open, because opportunity only comes knocking once in a while. That's all, folks.